it's been a while. In fact, the past 5 videos, I think we've said it's been a while.
Yeah, it actually has been a while, though. I mean, with everything going on in the world right now, it's kind of hard for everyone to get together. You know? So we had
I work. So. I have no life anymore.
I know, yeah. So I think, I know I think, again, like the past 5 videos we've said, we're going to try to do more, but we really are going to try to do more. Schedules have been a little crazy. And again, I thank you all for being, I guess, loyal to the channel. Because I've still read comments. There was a comment, I think we got about a month ago that said, did you guys quit? So, and I was like, oh, it kind of breaks my heart.
Yeah, no,
we are still watching this.
Yeah, no, we would love to put out more content. It's just everyone has conflicting schedules. We, in a sense, everyone does this because we're passionate about movies and we're passionate about, just talking about it and explaining our point of views and, what we liked and, seeing everyone else's thoughts. But again, this is more of a passion project. It's not really a full-time job. We can't really do this as much as we'd love to. We can't do this every day or every week.
But even. I think I do want to try to aim. I just got that new MacBook, so I really do want to try to. I really do want to push to get more content.
Eventually.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to what we're here for. Spider-Man. No, obviously No Way Home. No Way Home. It is No Way Home.
Yeah, it's not Far From Home.
Yes, No Way Home. Okay, so I really liked it, but I want to go ahead before I share my thoughts. I like to pass it around. So start from here, work our way here, Brian.
Right. So just to be sure. We should read it. We should have it in the title, but this is going to be a spoiler talk. Spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, and we want to emphasize that because usually in the past we've done videos where we do no spoilers and then we do spoilers. But I feel that with this movie, in order to fully get into everything that we would love to talk about, we have to get into the movie.
Yeah. Yes,
like we very much have to. So. Spoilers.
So I guess let's start from the beginning and try to work our way to the ends of what we liked, didn't like, but for the most part, we liked it. But go ahead and we'll work off you first. Yeah.
So, movie starts off, picks up right where Far From Home ended.
Yeah.
So, we do see this conflicted Peter Parker and, it's him trying to adjust to his new life and how essentially being Spider-Man is affecting him. Mm-hmm. And, I love the I guess the introduction to Strange. I forgot that he had blipped for 5 years.
Oh so
So he's like, wait, I thought you were Sorcerer Supreme. He's like, well, when you're gone for 5 years, someone's got to step up. So it's Wong now. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But
I will say I did like how this, unlike the other Spider-Man movies, we got a glimpse of everyone knowing Peter was Spider-Man. That's always kind of been a thing. I don't want to say always in the comics, but there are things they've touched on in the comics where people knowing his identity has hurt the ones he's loved. Yeah. And this movie, dove into that. So it's crazy how many Spider-Man movies we've gotten and how much story I feel like they still haven't touched upon. They're still beginning to touch upon, which we'll get to at the end because the way this ends, I feel like there's a whole open book of what they could go.
Exactly.
I feel like this was, as weird as it is to say, being the third movie, I feel like this is the start of a book in a sense.
Pretty much,
and there's so much you can go with it.
Ironically, because we skipped the whole him being bit by a spider, but this almost was an origin in its own way.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and So fast forward a little bit. We already know from the trailer that Strange and Spider-Man butcher the spell, and boom, we have universes colliding. Mm-hmm. And we're first introduced to Dr. Octopus. Yeah. And seeing Alfred Molina come back was, I mean, the Raimi movies have a special place in my heart. And I've liked every Spider-Man. Unpopular opinion, I actually really liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Same. I think his movies weren't. It was the writing. I kind of blame the writing on that. I think he himself was a good Spider-Man, but I
think he was a very good Peter Parker.
Really,
I liked him as Peter Parker. I like the nerdiness and the
it's funny because a lot of people say Toby. Say Toby like Toby's Peter Parker more and Andrew's Spider-Man more.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you like Toby's Spider-Man more?
I do. I don't know. I guess maybe just the nostalgia of it. Mm-hmm. Him being the first Spider-Man live action. But I mean,
like
again,
Andrew
I like
Garfield.
I like both. I do like both.
I really like both. But yeah, going back to just seeing these characters come back. I mean, ask me 3 years ago if oh, do you think we'll ever get a movie where we're gonna have? Well, shoot, do we already get to the?
I mean,
At this
we're gonna
point,
start at the beginning,
yeah.
but I mean, we know that's why everyone's here. Let's be honest.
Exactly,
Let's be honest.
Okay, so obviously we know. Okay, if you'd asked me 3 years ago if they'd ever have, do you think they'll ever have Toby, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, not only them all through a movie, but also some of the biggest villains we've seen in the other movies come out in one movie? I'd be like, no, you're crazy.
Yeah,
that's
no way.
It's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. Sony and Marvel are too busy bickering with each other.
Yep.
It's never gonna happen, but it did, and it was great. It was awesome.
Fantastic.
I loved it. I loved everything about it. There was things, this movie, and again, it could have. I feel like the parts, the fan service parts, were there for a reason. It didn't just feel like cheap fan service. I'm looking at you, Last Jedi. I'm sorry. Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
But everything felt like it served a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We had the little Willem Dafoe. His little line was like, "I'm something of a scientist myself."
Yeah,
there
a
were
little bit of memes in there.
They're really good. And I mean, on top of Willem Dafoe, Jesus Christ, dude, the guy is amazing. The guy is awesome. Arguably, I think the best part of one of the best parts of the movie.
Bro, he stole the show.
Fantastic,
He stole the show for me.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Kyle, because me and Brandon, we've been talking a bit too much.
No, you're good.
So go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
I still say, like, overall, like, this film is just a general love letter to all Spider-Man fans, and it's like, yes, like, probably like one of the best Spider-Man films we were all like anticipating.
Pretty
the whole
much,
time.
yeah. It's like why this is one of the best. Actually, well, I'd argue it's. Yeah, I think it's. Do we all agree it's probably it's the best Spider-Man movie?
Probably.
And it is because we have the other movies to thank for that.
Right.
This movie, those movies walked so this movie could run.
It
makes
really
any sense.
did. Like I said, I always like seeing Peter Parker, and I know like everyone's kind of tired of the origin story, but a reason that and we talked about this a little bit off cam. The reason why Peter Parker and Spider-Man are some of Marvel, or is basically one of Marvel's like biggest heroes, and why they're so loved, is because Peter Parker is a flawed character.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can relate to that.
You find relatability in that. Yeah.
You see, and even in this movie and in all other Spider-Man movies, you see, Doctor Strange is like, dude, you went to space, we did all these battles, you've done this. And Doctor Strange tells him, I forget that you're still a kid.
Yeah.
Peter Parker is still set to be, the 16, 17-year-old kid. In this movie, barely going to college, probably 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's like, he's done all this stuff, and he's, people want him to be that mature adult hero because that's what they expect. But at the end of the day, he's not that.
Yeah.
He's a kid. And I love... we're kind of jumping back, so I'm going to take it a bit back before we are introduced to the other Spider-Man. It was honestly a very Spider-Man thing for him to trap Doctor Strange. Because at the end of the day, in this instance, he's being, it's Aunt May pushing him. But in every single movie, it's always been Spider-Man wanting to help these people.
Yeah.
In every iteration.
And one of the things I was going to say, like, there was a point in the movie where I thought, like, why didn't you just press the button and send him back? But it's like, no, that wouldn't be the Spider-Man thing. You're sending these guys back still, like, in their evil ways.
Yeah.
If anything, even, now more powerful, after he tries helping them, like, no, you're going to...
Yeah, you're going to doom the other Spider-Man.
So that crossed my mind, but I'm like, no, like, that wouldn't be the Spider-Man thing to do. And... I'll get to it eventually, but there were so many moments in this movie where I thought that is like the most Spider-Man thing he could have done.
Yeah. And I want to bring that back too, because like, you look at all the villains that were in, or were brought back for this movie. Mm-hmm. Willem Dafoe, obviously, amazing. When in the first Sam Raimi movie, he does try to help him. And, of course, Osborn is... Man, I just love Willem Dafoe's shift in tone. When you can just
every
tell.
Single time
it's so well done. In the first Sam Raimi, he's like, Peter, stop, it's me.
Yeah.
And Peter doesn't want to do it, and in the end, he doesn't even really kill Goblin.
Yeah,
it's his own hang glider. And then you go to Doc Ock. Again, he tells him like, you have to stop this. And that's when, he turns a new leaf and he's like, I can't, like, we have to drown in the river. So Doc Ock makes that sacrifice. And then in 3, what's his name? Sandman, but I can't remember his actual name. But, he really isn't a bad person. While he is seen by all people as a bad guy, he really does just care about his daughter. And in part 3, removing the, dance scene, he does have that beef with Salmon where he like pushes his head into the train, drowns him in the sewer.
Well, actually, he acts out of anger. And the symbiote is like also a big contribution to that, acting out of that anger. So but there's a lot of recurring themes that you see, with Tom's Spider-Man.
And so but in the end, he does like help him. And then you go to Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. He really does want to help Connors. He tries to do everything, and ultimately he's not able to save him. Or he has to, he tries to, but by then Gwen Stacy loses her dad. And so then he tries to distance himself from her in the second one. And then you go to the second one, you meet Electro. And Electro having this mentality of like, oh, like this that, and ultimately becoming evil. And then now
part 2, I mean, that one, I like Andrew Garfield. I will say part 2 there was a lot of plots, going on. It's kind of
that's why it's kind of like, I was like, just one. That's why I was kind of losing train of thought. I'm like, wait, what was going on again?
Yeah, because I know, and I get what you're going with. The thing is, there was a lot going on in that movie to where I feel like it was hard to flesh anyone out. But going back to you mentioned Electro, so I'll talk about the villain. So Willem Dafoe, awesome, but he was great from the beginning. Even let's say Alfred Molina. Electro. Do you feel like Electro had or Jamie Foxx? I think he kind of redeemed the character, or was there a character to be redeemed to begin with?
I feel like Electro was a bit more fleshed out. If that makes sense.
Sort of.
But I mean, that is also due to Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because you see him in Amazing Spider-Man 2 as, the nerdy guy, and then it became, he's mad because Spider-Man took the fame from him.
Right.
But now in this one, it's like, I like this power, like, it hits harder for you because you know what he used to be and how people used to walk over him and how he was basically a nobody. So feeling this power, in all sense, feels good for him because, it's, in a sense, it's what kind of causes him to rise to be evil. He wants that power. He wants people to essentially feel what he felt and, be over them. And so, I'm trying to think here. I'm like losing my train of thought because I was just thinking about something. I was thinking about the food.
I was gonna say, no, because I'm telling you, if you're trying to recall Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's a lot going on there. I don't blame you for that. But honestly, I think Jamie Foxx actually did really good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very reminiscent of the original one. I don't know if you caught it, but when he comes with the arc reactor, you see kind of like the mask kind of like hovering over his face for a bit. I'm like, that's pretty cool. There's little things like that I really liked. So no, I did like him. I will say I do feel like, I don't want to call it like a con. I mean, obviously this movie has flaws here and there, but I just feel like they're really, overshadowed by like all like the things I liked about it. But really, Sandman, I feel like, and even Lizard, I feel kind of took a back seat in this one. It definitely there was nothing that I was like, oh,
they're just there.
They're kind of just there. There's nothing like, oh, they didn't really sit out to me. Not a bad thing, but
maybe some fan service here and there, but they're there.
They could have been, but I get also, just there was a lot going on. You could only fit into a 2.5 hour movie. But no, I think for sure the big standouts in the villains were, of course, Dafoe, Molina, and Jamie Foxx. But I think Molina and Dafoe were like,
the top two.
Dafoe stole the show. Yeah, I would put it in that order.
Now on performances, Andrew Garfield and Tobey. So guys, initial reaction when you first, I'll tell you mine but when did you realize that it was Andrew Garfield?
I saw him and I'm like, that is not I was like, I'm like, obviously, okay, that's not Tom Holland. And then I saw it, I'm like, no,
that can't be.
No, I'm like, okay, which one is this? And then as soon as he stepped in line, I saw the suit. I'm like, no. He comes in. I was like, they didn't. They didn't do that.
I was like, ah.
Yeah.
I clapped. I'm gonna lie. I clapped. The last time
everyone clapped in the theater.
Last time I probably got that giddy was like when Cap, caught Mjolnir. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because I really try to stay away from any like spoilers, and even
how a ghost on social media.
I did go social media, and even then, I really went in with this movie with not low expectations, but I'm like, I'm not going. It's ironic because MJ's whole thing is like, what was her thing about not being disappointed?
Yeah, it was like
expect
disappointment.
So I honestly did that. I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't think like they're not gonna be in there because I don't want to upset myself.
Yeah.
No, he was in it. So then it was like, okay, he's in this. Is Toby gonna come out? Yep. And then you see another one, and you see his body, but his face is covered by the shadow.
Yeah.
I'm like, that one I was like, no.
Yeah, I was like, no, dude, no.
So that one I was like, oh my god, I was
yes.
So happy. And I will say I was very happy with our theater.
Yes.
Because
they clapped when they needed to clap and they stopped so that way they could talk. It's like, yes, thank you. Because
then man, I remember when we saw what is
it?
Endgame. Yeah,
oh,
I was like,
dude.
yeah, it's like, dude, I can't hear the movie,
I think that's also partially a benefit of not going opening night.
Yeah, true.
You get the most fans.
All right, back to the movie.
But no, I really, man, I liked it, and just the whole dynamic between them. I'll say it. I think again, I do feel like Andrew gets the most hate. If this movie didn't make you like Andrew Garfield, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Right.
And
he the guy made fun of himself.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, Toby, I'm Spider-Man 1, you're Spider-Man 2, Andrew's Spider-Man 3. And
number 3.
Yeah. And then Tom's like, no, I'm Spider-Man 1, you're Spider-Man 2. And then Andrew goes,
3.
I'm number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah. That's pretty much everyone's list for the Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's like, I just want to let you know, man, you're amazing. You're amazing.
It's like, no, man, no.
I really thought he was like, you're an amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Thanks.
I think a little too
it's
on
really
the
great
nose.
to hear that.
And then I want to back up a bit because I love, as much as it hurt, I loved that Aunt May had to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were gonna do it.
No, I didn't either.
When she gets hit by the glider and she's standing up, I'm like, wow, that was a pretty hard blow for nothing to happen.
Yeah. And let me get this. Let me put it on record here. Okay. I love that it happened. You see, it's a terrible thing, but it brought so much impact to that character. Each of the Spider-Man had that exact thing happen, and I love that they even brush up on that. Because for our new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, we didn't have an Uncle Ben in the picture.
Yeah.
We didn't have.
Yeah, and really, I thought, I think most of you thought oh, maybe that already happened. That talk already happened. We missed it.
Yeah, and so with the death of Aunt May, and they're like, any place he would go, and they find him, and he's like, no, I'm angry. You don't know what I'm going through, and it's like you're talking to the 3 people that know exactly what you're going through.
Yes,
and it was such a good, heartwarming moment. Then I know I also liked when they did that in Into the Spider-Verse. With Miles' uncle. I can't remember his name, but he was a Prowler.
Oh yeah.
He's like, no, none of you know what I'm going through, and it's like, for me it was my best friend, for me it was my dad, for me it was my Uncle Benjamin. Just everyone.
Every iteration of Spider-Man has gone through. That's really
origin.
Unfortunately, the defining moment, or one of the defining moments of Spider-Man, how he decides to carry himself later on.
Yeah, and it's, in a sense, it's weird, right? Because Strange, when he's making or trying to destroy him, he's like, that is their fate. Their fate is to die.
Yeah.
But in a sense, that is also the fate of those close to Spider-Man. In a sense, that's why he does what he does and tries to distance himself from people. This is a very crucial moment in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I love too that they kind of brushed up on each of the Spider-Mans and their flaws. So when you see the new MJ falling, Tom Holland's not able to save her.
Yeah.
But Andrew Garfield is.
That was I feel like that was really nice.
Hurt.
that was a like nice little like closure, I think, to that arc he went through. Like he never forgave himself. I mean, it was honestly, hearing some of their stories, like, man, like, I would have loved to see like where they, I'd like to see a movie of that. Like Andrew Garfield talks about, like he's like, I stopped holding my punches. Like that's cool. Like that's a dark route. Like I would have loved to see on screen.
And it takes me back to one of the more memorable moments in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Where Gwen's falling, he shoots a web, and it looks like the hand grabbed her, and he's just that much
close,
too late.
Yeah.
He's just just too late. And so I feel it was I feel like they didn't need to put it, but I'm glad they did. Where he was, he's able to save her, and he's like in shock himself.
Yeah, he's like almost on the verge of tears.
Yeah. Because like he was able to finally save someone else from that fate, even though he couldn't save Gwen. And I love that. I just love that so much.
And I mean, to add to the layers, like the development of that's what this movie did really well with. I think just Tom Holland. I mean, I like him as Spider-Man. I think this was like his best performance.
Definitely,
just
it was.
Aunt May passing. He was he went all in. The cards were all in. The part where I'm getting to is when the last fight with the Green Goblin. Yeah. He is not holding punches back. That was the angriest you see him.
Yep.
He suplexes him.
Yeah, it was badass.
Yeah, and there's a point where even if, like both Spider-Mans are watching him.
They're like, we had to they looked at him like we had to stop him
and then
somehow.
when he gets the glider, and then you have Toby, the one stop him. The one that as far as we know, who's gone down that route, who seeked revenge and got nothing out of it.
Yep.
Didn't say anything. Just like in his face, though, you he locks eyes with him.
I will say that is another thing I love because, there's that saying, actions speak louder than words. No words are said. We know that he's angry. He's saying like, I wanted to kill him. This, that's that. And no words are said. Like, no, don't do it. No, he has to die. Like, nothing. It's just eye contact. And you can see, like...
It's all visuals. That's the point of cinema. I love things like that.
Beautiful. It's so beautifully done. And I love that about it. Like, I just like when movies can do that.
Mm-hmm. So, no, it's really good. And then, I mean, to wrap it up, the ending... I was divided at first. I'm like, you know what? I like the way it ended. I really thought they were going to end it where the whole universe was still going to be kind of like open, but it seemed like they kind of like closed it up.
Yeah.
But it might, hey, there probably are some repercussions in Doctor Strange from what we saw.
Yeah. But also but not only that, but at the end credits, the symbiote is now in the universe.
Yeah.
So while there's. I would definitely agree that there should be some repercussions. Maybe some people got through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe there are some dregs left behind, like with Venom. Mm-hmm. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Going to coming to a close on the movie. Another of my favorite parts. Not only did Spider-Man make the decision of, hey, let everyone forget me. Like that's. Yeah. Again, that's he's like that's how we're gonna end this. So he loses obviously his best friend, loses his love interest, and she tells him, she tells him, I love you. It's like, tell me when you find me again, and he goes, and God, it's such a Spider-Man thing, and I was like, dude, like you've been through enough. Why are you doing this to yourself? Where he he's talking to her, then he sees like the bandage she has, and makes nothing said, but you could tell he's like. He says, okay, like, thank you. Like, he knows, he's like, just looking, just by that face, he's like, I know if I, get involved, bring them into my life again, I know I'm going to put them through.
Right. Yep.
So he made that sound like, that is such a Spider-Man thing. Yeah. I loved it.
When, MJ and Ned are talking about going to MIT and stuff. And it's funny, too, because, now that they've forgotten Peter was kind of the one that made them friends.
Right.
They kind of became friends because they both knew who Spider-Man was.
Yep.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of cool to see that, their friendship is still there. Mm-hmm. But like you said, that is the most Spider-Man thing, because he, in the beginning of the movie, he essentially, because of him, he always felt like it was always his fault. Mm-hmm. And for him to make the decision to give that up after losing everything, literally everything, it really is that Spider-Man thing to do.
Yeah, that kind of leads to our whole fresh start. I think one of the biggest things people complain about And I mean, it wasn't until it was brought up, like, yeah, I can see why people are upset about that. Not upset, but bring it up. They're like, oh, one of the things about this Spider-Man is he's not, the traditional Spider-Man who's like this struggling kid. He's kind of like young Tony Stark already.
Yeah.
I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like this set up for those familiar stories.
Yeah.
Where he is a struggling kid. No, at this point, no one knows who he is.
Now he's on his own.
The Avengers aren't a thing right now. Tony's gone, and Cap's gone. Happy doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
It's like he's really on his own.
He really is, yeah. And now he's in his rundown apartment.
Which is like, it's like there he is. Like he's in a rundown apartment now, and he has his own suit now.
Yeah, so his suit doesn't look really tech heavy. So it's weird how they shifted. It's almost like in reverse, but it's really cool. And I'm honestly like when that happened, it ended. I mean, like I'm interested in seeing more Spider-Man. Like this, there are movies that end where I'm like, okay, where are they gonna go with this? X-Men Apocalypse. I would say right now. After I saw that, I'm like, how many more are they gonna make of these? This, I'm like, there's so much I want to see now. And there's so many things that I feel like they're hinted. Like, I believe Ned actually in comics is actually the Hobgoblin. So. And I wonder if that was a foreshadow of him being like, oh, like I'll never, turn on. I'll never,
I'll never try to kill you.
Yeah. I'm curious if that's gonna, come back.
Yeah.
I hope not.
And again, but knowing what this franchise has done, especially with this, I'm like, I feel like they would do something like that because those are the best stories to tell.
It's crazy how even after technically 6 Spider-Man movies. I'm just still eager for more.
Yep.
There's so much story to tell. There's so many characters that have not been introduced into the cinematic universe.
Exactly.
We don't have Black Cat. We don't have Kraven. We don't have Shocker. We had a very meh Shocker.
Yeah. But I do think people not knowing who he is, I think also leans itself to, hey, Spider-Man himself can have his own kind of movies away from everyone because again, no one remembers who he is.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. I remember after Far From Home, that being the first movie after the post Endgame.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, okay, I don't really know where the cinematic universe is going to go from here. And I'll be honest, even Phase 4, I haven't really been impressed with most of the movies.
Likewise.
But I remember when Far From Home ended, I remember thinking, what, even if I am not into the new stories, which I'm okay with. I'm glad what I got with Endgame. I will still be excited for Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm very much interested in the way it ended, and then this one too just further solidified that. Like I'm like I don't want Tom Holland to go anywhere. Yeah, I want to see more of him. And I heard he actually signed for 3 more movies.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I'm actually surprised. That his contract was up though.
Yeah, and there was talks about him being like, I had heard he was like, wasn't sure about doing the role anymore. But after this, I'm like, dude, no, you have to stay.
Yeah.
You have to stay.
It was just such a good setup for the future, and I know a lot of us were kind of like, okay, when you see Spider-Man's introduction in Civil War, because it's like, okay, he was here, but he didn't help out at all during the other ones, Again, his placement in it was kind of weird, and he kind of like grew into being Stark Jr. or Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is a kind of a weird set, but now for all of us that were kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird. Now to give him that fresh start that we initially wanted.
Now we're
awesome.
like, okay, I'm in. I want to see where you go from there. Yeah. It brings so many questions. Are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Harry Osborn? As his friend. Are we gonna get? Mary Jane Watson. The redhead. Character we all know. Are we gonna get Gwen Stacy? There's just so much I'm generally interested in. Like, you could go anywhere. You could really who else are we gonna see? And so I'm genuinely excited. Like I'm looking forward to future Spider-Man movies, and it's a great time to be a Spider-Man fan.
It really is.
I mean, with the movies, the games, we got a new one coming out. It's really really impressive. Well, really good time again.
I know, and man, even Into the Spider-Verse 2 is coming out. And I'm excited for that. It's crazy how I wasn't even counting I was just counting the live action Spider-Man's like 6 movies, but Into Spider-Verse that would be 7, and then. Like I still want to watch part 2 because again the reason Spider-Man is so loved is because it is a flawed character, but there's so many different iterations of Spider-Man that there's so many stories to tell, you know.
And I mean, and now that we're getting into that, that I guess, familiar territory. Just, the traditional Spider-Man we know, the poor kids getting by. I want to from both of you, what's a villain or story you want to see? You kind of want to see, now that where it's at in its current state, there's so many ways they can go. What's one character you want to see?
Because now I'm thinking, because every villain has a motive, right? Yeah. They have a motive against Spider-Man. So I'm thinking of what villain he could go against.
I'm thinking Kingpin. If they could somehow bring him in the Marvel cinematic.
Shoot, we missed Daredevil entirely.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox.
Oh my god, that completely came out of left field. I was like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
yes!
very much Kingpin. Yes, Kingpin can very much come out in this.
Yeah.
And you know what? With the symbiote, we can very much get the black.
I just realized.
Yeah.
It just now occurred to me, so I feel bad for Murdoch, because he did all of that for nothing. Because now that Peter Parker's guy's I bailed someone out of murdering someone, and now he's like, oh, what did I do this for again?
Yeah, well, he forgot. He probably got paid.
But it's like, what did I do this for?
Where'd the transaction come from again?
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. It's I did this case for wait, what was this for?
We can't see it.
So. He probably only remembers it as Aunt May.
Maybe, probably, yeah.
Yeah. As something happened to Aunt May.
Yeah. So no, and that's also another thing. Just bringing up, but they're definitely going. I'm even more excited to see where this goes. So I heard that Sony talked about doing a Spider-Verse, if you will, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I find with this being its own thing. I know.
I'd like to go into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I know there was one of the top comments I remember reading on. Now I can go into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Someone was like, you know what? It'd be cool if Cause I think Tom talked about he had a little break, so it'd be cool if Tom takes a little break. It's I at least would like to get another Andrew and Toby movie. At least one more Toby movie to get some closure. And Andrew to kind of here in the meantime while Tom kind of recharges. I feel like fans would be okay with that.
Right.
I would
very
definitely.
Much. And this goes into we're shifting comics here, but Pattinson's Batman. Yeah. I think that alone speaks for fans are okay with it. We're okay. We have DCEU right here, and then we have Batman's own solo movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of just that's what comics are. You have so many different iterations of it. So long as you tell me a good story, by all means, I'm gonna go watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's honestly what it is at the end of the day. A lot of people are like, oh, you go to watch. Anytime someone asks me, like, oh, why'd you go watch this movie? It's because I'll watch anything. For the most part, I watch anime, I watch cartoons, anything that has a solid story, I will watch because that's the whole reason behind it, And it's funny because one of my friends, I was like, man, I do not trust your movie taste, man. He was convinced before Spider-Man, right? Before he watched Spider-Man, he was convinced that Free Guy was the best movie this year.
No.
Free Guy.
You know why? No. Because Dune was the best movie this year.
Oh my gosh.
Dune, yes.
Dune, thank you. Thank you, Kyle. So, I see we have a man of culture here.
Yeah. Stop sucking off the teat of Dune, okay?
Dune is, if you have not seen Dune, I highly recommend it. Best movie of the year.
Part 2 coming out
It is
eventually.
a good movie, but calm down. Get off the teat.
Yeah. So I feel like we're kind of got our points across.
Right.
Close. I feel like this is one of those movies. Eventually, I can't give it a number. It's just there's so many. It has its flaws here and there, but I just feel like it's they're just overshadowed by all just things they did right. And I feel like my rating is not a number. It's just go see this movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've probably already seen it.
Right.
But anyone who I just think anyone who hasn't seen it, I would tell them just go see it. Go see it. I'm not gonna tell you if it's good. Just go see it.
I've told a few people, I'm like, hey, have you seen it yet? Because I want to talk about it. Like, no, I haven't seen it yet. I'm okay. I'm like, all right. The only thing I'm going to tell you is sit that ass down because there's 2 after credit scenes. Mm-hmm. That is it. That is the only thing I tell them for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, anything else? I'm like, nope. You gotta go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. I'm not. I hate spoilers with a passion. So
I do. I'm sorry if you are if you are someone who shares spoilers. I don't understand
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? I don't understand. It upsets me. It's what do you accomplish by that? Pissing people off? That's what you accomplish. Piss me off. Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. There's trolls like that. They'll piss you off.
Yeah. So, but up to close the book. for Spider-Man. I mean, I'm sure there's more.
There's probably more.
There's more.
So much more.
There's so much more we probably didn't cover, but overall, I just really enjoyed it. We're gonna quick little off track of Spider-Man, but still in the comic territory. Brian actually did not see the new Batman trailer until recently.
I had not.
So I actually want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay, so here's my thing, all right? Because I know people are gonna roast me. I did not want to watch the new Batman trailer. The same reason I don't want to watch the third Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. I'm gonna. That was a newer one. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
There's only two.
Shut up. I didn't watch the second one then. Whatever. I don't care. Point is, there was one trailer that came out and I didn't watch it. Okay. And I didn't want to watch the new Batman trailer because at the end of the day, I'm already gonna fucking watch this movie. I don't need to watch a trailer to get me more excited. Yeah, I'm convinced. Okay, you don't need to show me this. Yeah. If anything, just showing more shit that. Like,
but were you upset you saw it? You're like, you know what? It's okay. Like I'm already here.
I was okay with it because I'm like, you know what? I'm watching a trailer at a theater. I don't really think there's any better place to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but what were your thoughts of it?
Fuck.
Dude, it looks so good.
It does. I was like, man, they have. I'm guessing Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Selena Kyle. You have Riddler. Edward Nygma. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot today. And you have Oswald Cobblepot. So,
which Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I was very surprised it was Colin Farrell, and I was also very surprised at how good it was.
Right.
As mean as that sounds.
I mean, I don't know if you. I mean, it was your first time watching it, but dude, the look of fear when he's like at the end, where he's like, "Oh, I got you." Yeah. Batman's card like emerges from the flames.
Yeah.
His face is like.
Oh,
he looks like exactly, dude.
Is that like the pause? Like it was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
And then you see the car tumbling, and then I know. I have some friends who are like, oh, I feel like the upside down shots overused. Like it's warranted though.
Yeah.
Because his car is
literally flipped. It's giving a POV of Pattinson's Batman just walking with the explosions in the back.
Yes.
I was like, it's such a cliche, but god damn if it works.
Yes.
It works.
I know I saw, I was like, oh, dude.
This is going to be a good movie.
Oh, man.
So, but I mean, just briefly, I kind of we've talked about it on the podcast, the Batman trailer. But I'm really excited for it. There's just, I've heard I think Batman in his second year. And just Pattinson's a really good actor. If you haven't seen anything beyond Twilight, you probably wouldn't know this. But God, he's such a good. He's a really good actor. Just the little things he does. Like one of my favorite sequences in the trailers when he's in the Batmobile and you see like the pedal, this, and like it's a close up of his face. And we see him like grinding his teeth. Like it looks like he's pissed off. He doesn't look like a tamed Batman that we're used to seeing, who's just like calm, calculated. He looks like he is out to which I'm assuming is the Penguin chase. I like that. It's like, yes, he's just starting out. Why wouldn't he be a little unstable? Yeah. Or holding his punches. There's a part where it happens so quick, but you see he's punching someone, and Sinica looks at him kind of like kind of like she's afraid. Yeah. So it just, again, we talked about I love flawed characters. He looks like a very flawed Batman. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. And it's apparently it's supposed to dive into his detective side, which it's, again, Batman and Spider-Man are my favorite superheroes. If I had to rank, Batman would be my all-time favorite, but definitely, Marvel would be Spider-Man, Batman would be DC. Both are very flawed characters. Yep. And, and I think that's why it works. There's so much story we haven't seen. Ironically, we haven't seen much of a detective side.
No, so we really haven't.
And I heard this movie's supposed to dive into that. And it's like, what better villain to challenge that than the Riddler?
Yeah, because that is really why the Riddler is probably one of my favorites, because he challenges Batman on an intellectual level. Batman is the only one he sees as his intellectual equal. I think him and another villain would be Hugo Strange. He's also one that looks at Batman for his intellect, not really for his physical prowess, but for his intellect. So I like those two characters, and I'm happy to see a newer Riddler, a much darker, grittier version. Yeah. Granted, I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And honestly, when I first saw the trailer, I remember, so when the trailer first came out, like the first fandom, I remember seeing the trailer and just being blown away. And I called you and I was like, Brian, you need to watch this trailer. I just want to say why I'm like, you know, watch it. And Brian being how he's like, no, I gotta watch it later. I want to be like, what, dude,
motherfucker?
Because Brian's here. I know your favorite villain is the Riddler.
Yeah.
So I'm like, watch the damn trailer. I don't want to tell him that the Riddler was in it. I'm like, oh my god, watch the damn trailer. I know what I'm telling you. And sure enough, next thing you told me you saw it. And even though you like, I didn't catch it was the Riddler.
Yeah, I really didn't. Really didn't.
That's how mysterious he
I'm an idiot. All right, leave me alone. I have 2 brain cells.
But yeah. So I mean, with the coffee, the question mark was that you're like, oh, Batman.
I was like, I saw the diner and I'm like, why do I know this? Because like that was in the trailer prior.
Oh, okay.
And then like I'm like, okay, what is this? And then you had the question mark. Okay, got it. Batman.
No, it is. Yeah.
on a very unrelated note to Batman, but on a related note on things I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see Ambulance. That looks like a guilty pleasure movie.
It does.
I'm sorry.
I do.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I do. We just talked about it.
I want to see it.
Give it to Michael Bay to give a Dutch angle in the sky
right?
of a helicopter. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see it because
it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, I love.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
We're a household of Jake Gyllenhaal fans.
He's
I
a great actor.
Yes, I think actually we want him to be the Riddler at one point.
I did. So delve a little bit into that. If you've seen Nightcrawler, I would have loved that Jake Gyllenhaal as the Riddler. He has the very smart demeanor, but also that very unstable in your face kind of like.
Yeah.
No, this is how it's working. You know, oh, we're gonna do this. We're like, no, we're doing this my way. You know, and even at the end of the movie, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but when they're recording the whole thing, he has all this planned.
Yeah, everything's calculated. And I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
But so Ambulance, the Batman might be another future review we do podcast. Yeah. Ambulance probably be another one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start the intro with some explosions.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe we'll do the whole podcast on a Dutch angle. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Just like
we'll have the green screen set up and we'll like walk towards the camera as an explosion plays in the background.
There you
go.
Or
30 because we know it's a Michael Bay movie.
Yep, there you go. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Into Spider-Verse 2.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. And then games. There's a lot of games coming out next year.
Yeah.
So the games are a little bit harder. I think we all have to play them first before we do.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying in general. I'm excited for a lot of games. Hopefully 2.
Yeah. Looks good. Looks good.
Hopefully 2.
All right. I think we might wrap this up. Overall, I really like Spider-Man. I do want to watch it again. It's hard to. I don't know if you guys try to find tickets. It's hard to find it.
Everyone's gonna watch it in Christmas.
Actually,
that's why.
Funny enough, I mean you could leave this in there, but it doesn't matter. I was talking with our family. And either tonight or tomorrow, we were thinking of having a gathering and going to the drive-in because they're showing Spider-Man.
Ah.
And I was like, and that'd be cool, at the drive-in, $10 a car rather than $10 a person.
Yeah.
So.
But Brian, but you don't get the full experience. I'm sorry.
Full
I'm a big movie.
digital.
I like going to the theater.
Look, not everyone has fucking A-list, bitch. Okay, we all can't afford. We all can't afford to go watch Spider-Man 3 times a week. All right. So
maybe I'm sure I'll join. But point being, no. Again, if you happen to be someone who hadn't seen it, saw the whole podcast, go watch it. Even though it's all been spoiled for you, it's still very much worth the watch. It's
still very much worth the watch. And if you have seen it, hopefully we helped you guys see some like little nuances.
Right.
I also one thing that I forgot to mention was that I like that when everyone was coming out, like their themes would kind of slowly play.
Yes, I did like that. Like on 2 occasions, I noticed it where Toby's talking to Sandman, hit the classic song. I was like, yeah, that just tugged a little chord there. I'm like, oh, dude. And then there was a lot of those moments. I didn't touch this up. I didn't get to touch this up. But so is this your favorite MCU movie?
I would say it would be my top 3.
Definitely top 3. I don't know if it's my favorite. It is probably my favorite Spider-Man, but I think still for me, it's Infinity War.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I am very much a fan of, in that movie,
the heroes losing.
They lose.
Yeah.
And I like that because we're used to seeing the heroes win. Even like in this movie, he has that fall moment so he could rise. And that one, it was just battle, to see who could come out on top, and ultimately they couldn't. So I like that movie, and I think for me that will probably be my favorite MCU movie. This is definitely top 3.
It is. This was a tough one for me. But I was trying to go back and forth, and I guess from a movie standpoint, maybe someone would argue that because Iron Man was I think the best MCU movie, my personal favorite one, the first one. I just think like on just as a movie, if that movie had gone like to the Oscars, like for Best Picture, I would have been okay with it. But breaking it down, I'm like, you know what? I do think this is my favorite MCU movie, and for me, there was just so many moments, I guess, like heart tugging moments in this that were done just really well. More so than I think in the other movies. One of my problems with some of these other movies, I feel like they can't just let those serious moments play out without a joke coming in. Right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's like
yes.
It's like I'm gonna give a good example. Thor Ragnarok. Like it's supposed to be a more comical movie, but like every time there's like a serious one, it's like, oh yeah, joke. Hey, let's throw in a joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the biggest problems I have with some of the MCU movies.
A little pet peeve.
Yeah, it is. And I get annoyed with it. Eternals had it. Black Widow had it.
I didn't watch either of those.
Yeah, so
every single Marvel movie ever since.
And I just feel like when Aunt May died, the scene played out. Him talking to Spiderman, let it play out. There were just so many moments that I just like was in awe. For me, this movie, and I compare it to this. In Endgame, one of my favorite moments was the moment where Cap, picked up Mjolnir.
Yeah,
there was just so much build up to it. That moment was like one of my favorites. I remember I just like dropping my jaw and being like in awe.
Yeah.
For me, this movie had that feeling throughout the movie, and I don't think I'm gonna get that from any other movie. I said that about Endgame. I feel like I said that I don't know if I'm gonna get that same hype or feeling up from Endgame. I was wrong. This movie had it. So yeah, maybe they will. But
hopefully,
I will say when you said like letting the scene play out, I did like that a lot when like you said when Aunt May died, because it's him coming to terms with it in a very short amount of time,
and he can't even do it all because they're shooting at him.
Yeah, they're shooting at him.
Even Happy was
and
like
Happy.
He even saw. He's like,
like he's so happy.
Run.
Yeah, and so Happy kind of lets himself get caught so Peter can get away, and that's what he's like. Happy's heartbroken too, but he can see Peter just
more
devastated, and it's like not only that, he's getting shot at. They're shooting at him, at a kid.
Yeah, So it's me like the other movies like again Love Infinity War. They just those moments are what I like about movies. It just while there were great moments, it just were those it didn't have for me. And it made me just like sit in the theater and being like this is great. I love it. So I will say I think this is my favorite MCU movie. For a while it was Iron Man, and I mean this 'cause even with the other ones I can't say I didn't see Infinity War or again in theaters. I saw Endgame one more time in theaters to take someone, but this one I saw it and immediately I'm like I want to watch this again. It's been I don't know the last MCU movie I immediately was like I need to watch it again.
Yeah, that's true.
So
right,
yeah, it definitely is. It really is. I missed this part too. I am trying to end the video, but I keep just remembering parts. Dude, one of my favorite scenes also was just the spider sense scene where it's like where everyone's in the apartment and you see him it has that vertigo effect and he gets up. It's just shot so well. You were at the edge. I was at the edge of my seat like, oh God, like what is like, I feel so uncomfortable. There is so much tension in that scene. And of course it's Dafoe and it's like, it would be Willem Dafoe.
It has to be Dafoe.
It's so good. It's just, those things this movie had, just the other ones, I don't say they lacked. This one just had it throughout the whole movie. And God, I loved it for that reason. So again, is it, maybe on from a movie's perspective, is it the best one? Probably not. If I were to really break down the other movies, maybe Iron Man is still, more fleshed out, or like, I don't want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe there's less plot holes, if you will.
Yeah.
But no, I love this one. So yeah, I think it is.
It's so crazy because like you said, like every time they reach a new high, it's like where do we go from here?
Right.
Yeah. And again, why I loved it is because they just reached a new high, and I want to see more.
Yeah.
I didn't, with Endgame, it ended, and I'm like, and I thought, how are they gonna top this? And I remember thinking, you know what? If they don't, I'm okay with it. I got Endgame, I'm fine. This one, it's like, no, I want to see more.
Yeah.
So, I do not know the last movie did that for me. So yeah, I would say Spider-Man: No Way Home is probably my favorite MCU movie. I think one did it right there.
Yeah.
So guys, again, we're gonna try to get these done more. You know, we've been saying that for quite a while. Maybe again, I want to say backtrack the last 5 videos more or less. But I think Pinky promise this time, maybe, maybe kind of sort
of. Also, yeah, if y'all want, I did get a different Twitter handle. Now it's my Twitch and everything. So we'll be at Ruffin McGuffin. If you don't mind,
put it
right here.
Okay.
In bold italics, make it on fire.
Okay.
Comic Sans.
Comic Sans. None of that.
I don't know if I'll do the fire thing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't do any of that. Just put it very small so people don't have to look at it. But
thank you. Oh, go on.
Yeah. You just cut me off in the middle of my statement.
Why don't you?
Yeah, no, if y'all would like, I do stream very inconsistently, but I do stream every so often.
Just like these videos are.
Yeah. But if you, by any means, if you want, go drop a follow, join me, talk to me about movies, talk to me about anything. I enjoy talking or having these discussions, so if you want to talk here, or, I love talking to people here, I would love to talk to you all, share your thoughts with me, tell me what you liked, tell me what you disliked, just...
All that, or leave in the comment section.
Yeah, talk to us. Like I said, we do try to read the comments and try to build on that. Because maybe you guys caught something that we missed, and we can look at it from that angle. And I just like stuff like that. But yeah, let's end it now.
Okay, all right, we will. Okay,
I ramble too much.
Yeah,
no problem. Okay, guys. Again, thank you for being still following us. Until next time, hopefully we'll see you guys later.